Oh, there you are.
Ah, how absolutely amazing. We are recording. I should state this.
You should state that for legal purposes. Yes, because
yes,
otherwise,
yes. Yeah.
my attorneys might call your attorneys.
I know. My factor will call upon your factor. And I, hello and welcome.
People. Oh, yes. Say hello to everyone, would you?
Hello to everyone. Welcome to another SBRE Soirée, a magnificent, wonderful, and highly cultural show that elevates the level of the fountain pen world by an exponential magnitude. I would like to share some of the things that people said about the show in the past. Winston Churchill said he would watch it on the beaches. Alexander the Great knelt and wept, and there were no more interesting soirees to conquer. And I actually went out to ask Beethoven what he thought, but I know I rang his doorbell all night. Nothing happened. In any case, we shall now continue with our soiree format, which by now you're intimately familiar with. Opposite me, or next to me, depending on how you watch this, but right now for me, opposite me, there is the inimitable Mr. Ørøzcø, of all kinds of fame.
He's going to let me talk at some point, people.
No, I will not.
Have patience.
Yes, no,
I know him.
Just talk over you.
He'll get over this.
No, excellent. So, Eric, why don't you say hi?
Hi, Eric. Oh,
Thank
that wasn't what you told me. Oh, lovely mug. No. And I don't mean your face, although that's not bad either.
Yes, isn't it? Yes. Anyway, so I thought
bow tie. It is magnificent. I must
Isn't
say.
it magnificent?
We should tell everyone that magnificent is the word of the day.
Magnificent is the word of the day, and
the bow tie, neither one of us can spell it correctly.
Sorry?
Even though neither one of us can spell it correctly. Look, if I'm going to talk, you have to listen. That's a prerequisite to this show, okay?
Is this how this works? Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Magnificent. Isn't that MAQNIECCENT?
Yes, exactly.
There's
a Z in there somewhere, yeah.
Yes. I think, anyway, so how about I just start the soiree?
Well, a soiree, as I recall, is like putting me in the hot seat. You ask me questions, and I just answer them. And
Indeed.
And you tell people that I don't know these questions. You've not reviewed them with me.
Eric does not know these questions. I have not reviewed these with him. This is the first time he hears of them.
Didn't we do this last week?
We did do this last week, but fortunately,
like deja vu. What is this?
Yeah, now there are different questions with the intent and purpose of getting to know someone better and not just
different questions. About them. I thought this was going to be like a redo where I get the same.
No. We do not redux. We only edit out. Now,
question
one.
No. Can I just put a pause on this?
Yes, sir.
Put a pin in your question one there because I have something for you, Dr. Brown. I made
how lovely.
Index cards, and I have a little game that we're going to play.
Yes.
And I didn't tell him this, so he's worried now.
No, I like it.
I have 10 cards, and each card has a word on it. I will read the word, and you will just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind, okay? This is just fun for everyone. As an added bonus, underneath the word I have written for you, I have written what I think you might say, which, of course, excellent. I'm not going to get any of those right, but we'll see what happens.
Is my response to be a single word?
Not necessarily. The first thought that comes to your mind.
Just the first thought.
Yeah, I mean, some of my answers are one word, most of them, and some are two words. None of them are paragraphs. And I know you like to answer things in paragraphs, if not, in complete encyclopedia Browns. But I kept it short and sweet, and we should just do this because people are waiting. Are you ready for your first? I agree,
and plus this is a magnificent dinner party game to elevate the cultural level of your soiree. So go on, please.
And I didn't tell you about this, right?
No, I have no idea.
I've said that so many times that people are going to think I'm joking about it. Are you ready for your first word?
Magnificent.
Okay, word one. Tuxedo.
Style.
Oh, that's not what I wrote for you. I wrote pen show.
Yes, well, that was my second thought.
Oh, was it?
I only had half a second, so
That's true.
But yeah, I remember the good old days of the pen show. That was 2012 that we strolled along the DC pen show floor in tuxedos.
And caused a stir, I might say.
We caused a stir, and I remember particularly that two pen vendors were behind their tables. One turned, this was in the days of the fountain pen geeks, one of them turned to the other and said, Who are those guys with a southern accent? And the other guy said, "Oh, those are just the geeks." And he was like, "Oh."
Yes, many
As if
people
that
acted.
explained anything.
Many people acted as if they had never seen a tuxedo, and I must say, no one had in a pen show before.
True.
So that was us back then in the day. You ready for your next word?
Absolutely.
Circus.
Philadelphia Pen Show.
Oh, very good. That was my second thought. My first thought was pen show. See, I wrote pen show there.
Yes.
So I did get part of it. I might even give myself full credit. Ready?
Oh, yes.
Elderberry.
The slightly awkward nephew of Professor Dr. Tarquin Dangleberry.
Is he elderberry? But he's older somehow? Somehow
Yes.
He's an older nephew.
He is an elderberry, yes.
I put Monty Python.
Yes, that would have been my second thought too, yes.
Your second thought. Samurai.
Sword.
Well, I put katana.
That's good. That's good enough.
Notebook.
I want to say cover.
I put paper. It's
No,
like
that's
a
okay.
competition now. You're just not getting any of these right, Brown.
No, I know. Yes,
Ready?
I feel the aptitude test. I feel less secure by the second, but go ahead.
There's only 15 left out of 10.
Okay.
Christmas.
Leiden.
Oh, I put cologne.
Well, yeah, but that was part of that trip. You were there in Leiden, and we all went to Cologne. I think we can take that as a yes.
All right, we'll take that as a yes. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Velociraptor.
Jurassic Park.
Right there. Jurassic Park right there.
Hashtag boom.
That's one we got exactly. How do you like that? But I guess it was kind of a given. What else are you going to think?
Why,
Ready?
You think of some ant?
Are you ready for your next word?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Hippocampus.
Memory.
Oh, I put memories. Hey, we're pretty good at this. We're pretty
because
good.
both of us have a memory, so together we have memories.
That's true. Next word?
Yes.
Hippopotamus.
Christmas song.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think of that. I put danger. Yeah. I put danger because they kill more people than sharks, but
yeah, they are dangerous.
And your final word. Your final word, and you'll have to tell me if I pronounce it incorrectly. I'm going to say stroopwafel.
Yeah, stroopwafel, Dutch cookies, a type of Dutch cookie. So my association would be market.
Market. I put Netherlands.
Netherlands is good enough.
Dutch was in your first. Yes. All right, that's it for the game show portion of it.
It's magnificent. Okay, well, we hope you have a good evening, and we will bugger off now. I think that was a great idea, Eric. I was hoping for something along these lines. The creativity of the other person is.
I should ask you the question. Soirée we did last week, and here I am doing it again this week. Why do you have me on 2 weeks in a row? What's going on here?
I'm secretly in love with you.
Oh, well, that's not a secret. Everyone knows that. I've been plastering it on bathroom walls everywhere at every pen show.
And to be honest, who isn't?
I mean, truly.
It's fair, right? No, I thought last week went so well and was so structured that we should absolutely do this again.
Well, let's do it again.
Yes, let's do it again. So, are you ready for your? Thank you again
ready
for this parlor game, as it were, because I've rather enjoyed it. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
10 questions, 10 answers. Are you ready?
I am ready, Dr. Brown.
Question 1.
Professor Dr. Brown, I should say.
Are you ready?
I am ready, Professor Dr. Brown.
Thank you. Question 1.
Not 0?
No.
Okay.
That one was negative. Ants are 2 antelopes, as winter is 2.
Winter Wonderland. One word, no spaces.
Winter Wonderland.
Winter Wonderland.
And what exactly is your reasoning behind this?
I just wanted something that started with winter.
And how does the antelopes and the ants come in?
Well, antelope starts with and.
And Winter Wonderland starts with winter.
Amazingly enough, doesn't it?
So it's magnificent.
Actually, you're pointing out a good point. In my mind, I saw the words, and I didn't really see an ant and a, what was it, antelope?
Yes, yes.
I didn't see the two animals. I saw the words, and so I wanted a word that started with winter. That's just how my mind worked in that particular situation. You could ask me the same thing next week. You'd probably get a different answer.
Okay, well, we may have to
In
do
fact,
that.
I hope you would.
Yeah,
No,
in
please
fact,
don't.
I shall make note of it. Yes. Question 2.
Already?
Yes, time flies when you're having fun. Which person would you consider to be an important mentor?
To whom?
To you.
Oh. Let's see. There have been many mentors in my life. An important mentor. I'm going to have to say my grandmother. Not to take any away from my father, but this was his mother. So I mean, it just got better.
Right.
I am very much like my father, especially when it comes to what makes me laugh, what I find funny. But my grandmother, who was born in Sweden, got married, moved to Berlin, where my father was born. They fled Berlin in 1940 and went to New York. And she and I spent many, many hours in conversation until her passing. And I just always found her stories fascinating. And she was a polyglot. She was very, she was the daughter, oh, I shouldn't talk about her so much, but she was the daughter of the Swedish ambassador to Russia back in the day when it was Russia. And so she traveled extensively as a young woman and got a great education. She was just fascinating to speak with. And so I would consider her a great mentor in my life.
That's very interesting.
I know that wasn't
a
funny story, but
it doesn't have to be a funny story. As I said, I mean, I'm genuine about that. I think it's very interesting to get to know people, and I think this is a very interesting insight in what has driven you, because you too are a polyglot. I also think you have a broad interest in many things, so I can see some of her qualities having been instilled in you, which is
yeah,
nice.
I would say so, very much so. She was a great influence on me at a young age. She is sorely missed, and
I understand.
And she was just good at talking through things, and of course she had lots of stories because of the way she was brought up, and then having to get out of Germany just before everything went crazy. There was a lot of history in every story she had, and so I miss that.
Yeah, I understand that. Have you considered, in honor of your Swedish heritage, to change your last name to Ørøzcø?
Just put a line through one and
just put them all through it. Ørøzcø.
It hadn't occurred to me, but I will now consider that.
Or even just one. Oh, you have many to choose from. Okay, well, now that we have a firm grasp on the obvious, we can continue with question 3. Would you consider yourself a hot dog or a cool cat?
I would say neither, but if I have to choose one, a hot dog, because I've never considered myself a cool cat. So by default, we'll just say by default, given those two choices, I will say hot dog.
Yes, why would you not be a cool cat?
Well, I'm not particularly cool in the sense of the word that people use it. I'm probably cool in other ways, but not what most people would say is cool. I've been a nerd type person my entire life, and proud of it. I'm very happy with who I am, but cool is not usually an adjective that I hear about myself.
I rather like the description of a nerd type person. I do think you're very cool. I also think that there's much to be learn from you. I know that I have learned a lot from you. I also think that if we broaden the interpretation of cool a bit, I think you are very cool, because I think you are a very even-keeled person who just...
Well, if you mean cool as in calm, yeah, I'm pretty calm. I don't panic, don't like it, serves no purpose.
Yes.
But I mean, no one can deny that I am hot, so we'll just go with hot dog.
That is true. This
There you
is
go.
undeniable, hence my crush on you. Now, we shall continue with question 4.
4.
4. What would you prefer? Would you prefer to live on a boat for the rest of your life, or would you prefer to live in an RV for the rest of your life?
On a boat.
Why would you live in a boat?
Boats fascinate me, especially sailboats, because you have the ability, at least in theory, to go anywhere in the world.
True.
And while you can go many places in an RV, you will eventually hit boundaries that you cannot. I mean, I suppose ferries or something, but in a boat, you can just go wherever you want.
Yes.
And my first destination would be Fiji.
Fiji.
I know that was your follow-up question. I just jumped the gun on that. So
I was indeed, but thank you for... I can just leave and just hand you the list of questions, and you can...
And
yes.
if the boat could be a catamaran, that would be terrific.
Yeah, catamaran, yes.
Yeah, because it's still powered by wind, but it's got the 2 hulls, so it doesn't keel. And, you know, keeling is something you have to get used to. Catamaran's much more comfortable. Will just be level. So there you go. Give me catamaran. Let's go to Fiji.
What about being on a catamaran, being launched from a catapult?
Absolutely. I mean,
You see?
providing I am aimed at the water and someone will come pick me up.
I would say so. Yes. Yes. Now, the next question is one that I know the answer to, but I thought for our audience
I highly doubt that, but you know, we'll see.
Would you prefer dogs or cats as pets?
Oh, yeah. See, you think you know the answer because I've had dogs, and I miss my dogs, especially Karma. Dogs are much more of a responsibility than cats. They require attention. They require exercise. There's pros and cons to both. I'm going to go with dogs, just as you thought. But I wouldn't mind a cat. Wouldn't mind a cat. No. I have nothing against cats. I like cats. I have most recently had dogs. I have had cats in my lifetime. If I got to choose, right now I can't have a pet right now, but if I could have either a cat or a dog, I would choose a dog. And it would be a German Shepherd.
Yeah, that was a good choice. Yes, that was indeed the answer I expected, but and also for the reason I expected. But
the problem with pets is that they die.
That is a problem.
And it's not nice when they die because they become, well, members of the family, and then they leave. So you have to be ready.
I once read this interesting story about a vet who was trying to get permission or something to clone pets, so that when your pet, when it's about to die, you can have DNA material and you can clone the pet. And I thought, interesting philosophical point, because would you really have the same pet? Or?
No, it wouldn't be the same.
I don't think so either.
I could see how it might appeal to some people. I don't know anything about cloning or whether or not that actually works and can be a long-term solution. Most recently, I had a German Shepherd her entire life, and I was very sad when her time came. And if I could get a German Shepherd tomorrow, I probably wouldn't, because I'm still not ready, and this was several years ago. I imagine I will get over that eventually, but I don't think I would clone her if I still had DNA.
Losing a pet, I think, can be sometimes even harder than losing a person, because pets love you so unconditionally. And if you can, use the term love, but you know what I mean.
Well, especially with dogs. I mean, they kind of show it.
Yes.
They're always happy to see you. Cats sometimes are, sometimes aren't. But that's a
Yes.
whole different personality that you just get used to. And
Yes. Yeah.
so anyway, yes, now that we've covered that,
Yeah, no, very interesting, very interesting, very interesting.
I suppose
And
I
even,
could
I
get a
mean, who?
macaw. They live over 100 years.
Yeah, yeah,
But
or a Komodo dragon.
I don't think you a, a tortoise.
Yeah, yeah.
With none of these animals, though, do you have quite the personal relationship you can develop with a cat or a dog.
Let me tell you a very quick story about this, because now we're talking about exotic pets. I was once told this story by a colleague who was a biologist, and I still find this story funny and upsetting. He had a friend who had a snake, a large snake, and every time the snake would roam through the house, he would let the snake roam free. Now, every night when the guy would go to bed, the snake would climb up in the bed next to him and stretch out next to him. Now, that image to me was hilarious. I found that absolutely, that you can see the snake just slithering up and then stretching out. And the guy thought it was cute until one day he was talking to a snake expert, and the snake expert said, yeah, you know what it's doing? It's sizing you up. It's seeing if it can actually ingest you, if you would actually fit inside it. That's why it lies down next to you and stretches out. And then he was like, oh, I guess I better put it in a cage now, or in a terrarium or something.
It's sizing you up. What,
yes.
It forgets from day to day? Or
well,
perhaps
it could. I
I've
suppose
grown
it
in a
could
day?
grow and
Yes.
wait for the right moment to strike and pounce on you and murder you and then eat you.
Well, see, my first thought was that the snake was using the person as heat.
Yeah, that would make sense. But I like this explanation.
The sizing, yeah, that's a surprise ending.
Yes, isn't it? Anyway, let's continue with question 6. This one is short. London or Paris? I think I know the answer to this one.
Paris.
Yeah, that's my answer. I'm sorry for talking over you. Can you repeat your answer for the viewers, and I shall stop
London.
being obnoxious.
London.
You just changed your answer.
You must have heard me the first time. Paris. Paris, and
Yeah,
I'll tell you why if you want to know. If you don't want to know, we can move on.
No, I don't care. Yes, go ahead, please. Tell me.
London is a bit too easy because I speak the language.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
London is a bit too easy because I speak the language, at least, enough to be understood and understand. Paris is a little bit more adventurous because I don't.
True.
I mean, both cities are fantastic. I have been to both. But if you make me decide, I'll go to Paris. And besides, London is really close. You can go for the weekend.
Is Paris that much farther?
Then what? No, I mean, if you're in Paris and you want to go to London for the weekend, very close.
I thought from where you are. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I lost you.
Yes. Now, weren't you in Paris recently?
I was in Paris in April. Eleanor, you might know Eleanor. You met her at the DC show. Eleanor and I went at the beginning of April, not because of, but at the same time of my birthday, my last birthday. And speaking of my birthday, 2 birthdays ago, I was in Canada, Toronto, Oshawa, to be exact, spending my birthday with you and your lovely wife, Aziza. And I want everyone to know that Aziza cursed me on that birthday, saying it would be my penultimate birthday. And so I've now had, I expect to die sometime between now and my next birthday in April. And I want everyone to know that it's Aziza's fault.
Her fault, entirely. Yes, I remember.
Please mark that down. Now, I should say that the reason this happened is she gave me a birthday card, and it said in her writing, "This will be your penultimate birthday!" And I knew immediately she did not know the meaning of that word. And she claimed she didn't. She claimed it was like beyond ultimate, even better than ultimate. But it stands. She has cursed me, and we'll see what happens. I wake up every morning and say, I woke up still not dead again today, and I usually tell her, and so, but I'm waiting, and it's a terrible burden. It truly is a terrible burden.
It is. Time is running out.
Time is running out.
It's running out.
But now everybody knows.
But now we know. Yeah, no, we shall follow
point to Aziza. But now I have asked her to send me another card, absolving me of that curse in some words written by her. No. She refuses. So she's standing by this. And so, that's my relationship with your wife.
Terrible.
In a nutshell.
Now, question. Last time when you were in Paris, did you light a cigarette and then fling the matchstick towards a rather large cathedral, and there were disastrous consequences?
As it happens, we didn't go to Notre Dame. We walked by it several times. We had both been there before, and it's massively, well, it's a massive structure, but it's massively popular. Once you've gone there, unless you really need to, you kind of avoid it because it's just too crowded. So we saw it, and I think the day after my return is when it burned. And I got many phone calls and many text messages. What did you do? Because,
Yeah.
as I told everyone last time at your last soiree, I'm a little shit. Apparently people know this already, and I was the first person they thought of.
Yeah. No,
So
it's
you're not, this is not original thinking from you, Brown. So, up your game, would you?
I shall move on. I shall move on. What would you rather give up? Reading books or listening to music?
That's horrible. That's
I know.
a world without music or a world without books. There's no good answer for that. I would have to, in this moment, I'm going to say I'd give up music so that I could read books, because I do like to read. I also love music. But books, I would give up the music and continue reading.
All right. Yes.
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to that.
I think there is not. I think that was
my
the point.
answer might be different next week, or in a month.
I shall make note of all these things that I must ask you every single time you're on. So that
yes.
At some point we'll have 5,000 questions like this. Yes. No. Very interesting. What is it that makes you want to read more than listen to music more?
Well, I do love music, and I have music playing. I don't have it playing right now, but I do have it playing most of the time. And it's not that I'm even listening to it. It's just a soothing background. It makes the place feel like there's life going on. But at the same time, I do like to read, and reading takes you places and puts words together in ways you've never thought of before, and surprises you and makes you learn new things. Reading is, I'm going to have to say in this moment, it's more important than music. But again, there's no right answer here. Now, can I sing, hum? Can I still do that?
Oh, yes. I suppose
all right.
so.
Well, then,
not a postulation.
Then I'll take the reading and sing when I want to hear some music.
And sing to yourself.
Sing when I want to hear something that is somewhat similar to music, I should say.
Yes. All right. Good. Nice. I like it. All right. This one is slightly adapted from a rather famous one, but I like my version.
What number is it?
This is number 8.
Okay.
We're blazing through this.
Blazing through them.
Would you rather fight 1 elephant-sized meerkat or 10 meerkat-sized elephants?
Ooh, the elephants, the 10 meerkat-sized elephants.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to fight any of these groups or individuals, but if these little meerkat-sized elephants were attacking me, I would have to protect myself somehow, and I think that would probably be my preferred set of opponents.
Life and limb have to be defended.
But I would find them so cute. It would be very, very, very different. I mean, they look like, they would be like baby elephants. What are you going to do to baby elephants? I let them win. Know. I will just die by dwarf elephants. That will be Aziza's proclamation will come true, and won't that be a good story?
Penultimate birthday. He died by fighting 10 meerkat-sized elephants. Sorry. Okay. Question 9. This one is easy. What is the best... I'm so sorry. What is the best life advice?
Did you just say this is easy?
Yeah, it's an easy one.
I think people, your mileage may vary, but I do think people spend far too much time worrying. And I would take worry out of your life if you can. And the way I usually try to help someone who's worrying is I say, worry does not help. Can we admit that? It's not going to change the outcome if we worry. So we can either do something about it or we can't. It's either in our control or it's not. If it is not in our control, then we can't worry about it, because I think that's an old story, isn't it? And if it is in our control, instead of worrying, we can take some sort of action. But worry is just stressful and unhealthy and makes a person unhappy. So if I had to say one thing, it's just try to get worry out of your life. You do something or forget about it. There's really your only two options. You either can take action or you can't take action. And if you can't take action, then why worry about it? And if you can take action, do that instead of worrying.
And why worry about it?
Once again, I have to point out that if you ask me this question in a week, I'll have a whole new set of advice.
I'll add it to the list of questions that I have to ask you again. Question 10. Which 3 people, alive or dead, would you invite for dinner?
I think I'll go with people who are no longer with us this time. And I will tell you, in case you don't know, no, you don't know this. When did we do this last time? Was it a Saturday night and it went out on a Sunday? And
I believe something along the lines, yes.
By the end of the day on Sunday, I didn't have 1. I didn't have 2. I didn't have 3 or 4 or 5. I didn't even have 6. I had 7. 7 people contact me saying, why did I not get invited to dinner? Now, of course, these people are obviously friends, loved ones. They want to have dinner with me. You limited me to 3. My mistake was going with people who are alive. I should have seen that coming. Didn't see it. But at least they all feigned hurt at not being invited. So I guess I owe some people some dinner.
True.
Not because I need it, but because the world deserves it. Could you repeat the question?
Indeed. Which 3 people that are dead would you invite for dinner?
Which 3 people that are dead would I invite? So, let's see. Let's go with Eleanor Roosevelt and my grandmother, because I want to see them interact. And my mother. Let's bring her back.
All right.
All right. So, Eleanor Roosevelt, probably the first woman president of the United States. My grandmother and my mom. That would be a fun dinner.
That would
Now,
be.
if I get texts over the weekend from people from the great beyond saying, why didn't you invite me? I will report that to you immediately.
Yeah, that should be reported. That could be the evidence we've been looking for a while. So yes, no, absolutely. I think that's a great choice. I also believe that this very interesting conversation has elevated the cultural level of the fountain pen world.
And for that, I apologize
exponentially. Indeed. I think this was magnificent.
Oh, you think it's over? I have a surprise for you, Dr. Brown.
Oh,
excellent. I have 10 questions
excellent.
for you, because you're not going to get through all these soirees and never have to answer questions.
I'm scared, as it were.
I have 10 cards here upon which I have written a question, which means you have 10 questions. You
excellent.
just tell me when you're ready, if you're ready. You say excellent, but perhaps you don't want to participate. Once again, this is not something I told him about in advance.
I was born ready. Go ahead.
All right. Question number 1. There's a preface to this question. The preface is, if yes, what is it? Got it? That's the preface. Okay. Here's the question. Is there anything odd or embarrassing, or perhaps illegal, currently in your refrigerator or freezer?
Illegal, what was the other word?
Odd, embarrassing. What's the strangest thing in your refrigerator? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you have a slice of human brain in there, for all we know.
I think the current contents are limited to asparagus, corn, and orange juice, and some eggs. So I would say that is rather odd.
Well, no, I mean, perhaps the emptiness is a bit odd.
It is odd.
The lack of items in your refrigerator.
Yes.
What about your freezer, Dr. Brown?
The freezer has a bag of potato soup in a sandwich bag.
A sandwich bag?
In a sandwich
bag. For someday when it's cold?
For a rainy day, as it were.
All right, so nothing for the tabloids.
I don't think there's anything weird, no.
Okay, are you ready for your next question?
I am indeed.
This question also has a preface. The preface is, assuming you have thoughts, the question is, do you ordinarily think in English or in Dutch?
A good question.
A good question.
I think I do have thoughts. And
Okay.
I also, which is always comforting, I think that I increasingly think in English because I live in a country where people speak English and I teach in English. So then I find myself thinking in English a lot, but I also find myself thinking in Dutch sometimes. It depends a little bit on what I'm thinking about.
Okay. Was that true in Leiden? In Leiden, you worked at a university where I think you spoke Dutch a lot
I
of the
spoke
time?
Dutch, yes, most of the time Dutch, some international colleagues, but I would say that there I thought predominantly in Dutch.
Okay. Which I did not know, because my experience with the Netherlands is everybody speaks English. I mean, I know
True.
a lot of people do speak Dutch, but they just don't speak it a lot because I guess they know I don't understand. So, but yes, I did not know that you spoke primarily Dutch in at the university, for instance.
Yes, yes.
Well, now, what about university when you were a student? Were classes in English or in Dutch?
The initial classes for the undergraduate program in my days were all in Dutch. Now, most Dutch universities also, at least for psychology, also have an English undergraduate program, so you can do your entire bachelor's degree in English. In my master's phase, all the classes were in English.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you think that in the Netherlands you thought primarily in Dutch, and now that you're in Canada,
I think
you're
so, yes.
leaning towards English. Very good.
I'm leaning towards English.
Actually, it's not good or bad. It's just very interesting. I
It
didn't
just
even know
is,
that.
yes.
Are you ready for your next question?
I am indeed.
Is Han Solo really dead?
I fear he is.
I don't like you anymore, Dr. Brown. Moving on.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Are you ready for your next one?
I am ready for the next question.
If you could have a 30-minute conversation with any person now dead, would that person want to talk to you?
Oh, that's a really nice question. I think most people do not want to talk to me for many reasons. So I think statistically speaking, safest answer is no. But given we are now doing these soirees and we are renovating the world and plastering it with our positivity and loveliness, I think that there is a chance that maybe they would say yes now. More so than, say, 2 weeks ago.
Follow-up question is, who would it be?
Yeah, I would like to speak with a number of people, but given that I'm sadly limited, I would really like to speak to Umberto Eco, the author and
choice.
professor of semiotics and commentator on politics and pretty much every aspect and facet of life.
It would be fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
I think he would be fascinating for sure. Yeah.
Good choice, Dr. Brown. Good choice. The next one's easy if you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Where do babies come from?
Storks.
All right. There you go.
Yeah, they get like.
Is that true in the Netherlands as well?
Yeah. Ooievaar is our word for stork.
Do it again.
That is ooievaar.
Ooievaar.
De ooievaar at de stork af. Yeah.
Oh, really? So that was that a stork eating a waffle? Is that what you said?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for your next one?
I am ready for the next question.
There is a preface to this question, and the preface says there will be a caveat at the end of the question.
All right.
Just a warning.
I shall not move.
And so the question becomes, assuming you have no plans, if you could spend all day tomorrow anywhere in the world, where would it be? Surprise caveat. I know you were not expecting it, but the caveat to this question is no one you know can spend the day with you. So you can be anywhere you want to be. But anyone you meet has to be a new person. I can't go with you, so don't even think about it.
I would like to be
Under the sea? In an
under
octopus's garden?
the sea.
I'm sorry.
No, I would like to be on the plane, like not the airplane, but I mean the plane, like the planes
Great
of France.
Plains?
Yes, the Great Plains of Sekigahara, where the Battle of Sekigahara took place in 1600, which kind of shaped the history of Japan, because that's where the army of the Tokugawa shogun defeated the army of his opponent, and the Tokugawas became shoguns, which they were for, I think, 200 years or so, a long, long period, many, many years. And that was a decisive moment in Japanese history. A lot of people died there. That was a big battle. And I would find it very fascinating to see. I believe that right now it's just a field of grass, though, so I don't think there is much. But just for the historical perspective or significance, I think that
let me pick this card up again and review. Yes, you have to spend an entire day there. Is there something of interest? Can you meditate there for an entire day?
I think one could, yeah.
All right. Very good. How interesting. I lie. Anyway, are you ready for your next
Well,
one?
we continue anyway.
Yes, we just had to. Moving on.
Nice.
Your next question is, real or imaginary, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
I will be very vanilla about this. I fear it is vanilla.
That's a perfectly acceptable and very popular flavor.
But it must be proper vanilla. If you've ever had really good vanilla ice cream with the little vanilla seeds in it, then you know what I'm talking about. Then it's real vanilla ice cream, and that is magnificent, as opposed to sugary imitation instant ersatz vanilla.
In quality of ice cream. So you want excellent quality, real
Excellent
vanilla
quality
ice cream.
vanilla.
That would be your favorite.
Yeah.
I have no comment.
Excellent.
Although I will say, I have no comment, but I will say, my favorite flavor, not that you asked.
No, but I would like to know.
As lead up to something else I want to tell you. If I go to the store and I want ice cream, I will buy something that is mint chocolate chip, because that gives me mouth happies. But, and it's probably because I never see it. I only saw it, maybe it exists and I never see it, but the one place I saw it was at an Italian ice cream shop in Germany, and I went there 3 times a week, was cinnamon ice cream. And I liked it and remember it and still want it because it's so different.
That is different.
I have never run into it since. So I can't say it's my favorite. It's the one I miss, though, because it's just not available.
You may have to make it.
Out of your vanilla ice cream? Hey, we should get together. I'll get the cinnamon, you get the ice cream. There we go. Okay.
Or have you considered taking just a scoop of vanilla and then a bite of ice cream?
No, I have never considered that. Did you say a scoop of vanilla and a bite of ice cream?
No, a scoop of cinnamon. And then a bite of ice cream.
Maybe I could put the cinnamon on top of the ice cream. Use a spoon.
It would be safer. You wouldn't get a mechanic pneumonia, I think, from that.
I think I'm going to try this. I'm gonna find some probably Haagen-Dazs real vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
Put some cinnamon in it. Mix it around a little bit. Not gonna be the same, but it might be a reasonable facsimile.
Exactly.
Might be. All right. Are you ready?
I am.
This is question number 8, which of course means it is the anti-penultimate question. Aziza.
Right.
Oh, there's a preface on this one.
Let's hope I won't die. Yes.
The preface is, your answer must be given in 1 minute or less.
Okay.
And I say that preface because I know you so well. The question is, what is the meaning of life?
I think the meaning of life is striving to be the best person you can be. And I think that's really what matters most. And there could be all kinds of peripheral factors surrounding that, like being kind to others, trying to help others. But I think that is part of being the best person you can be. So if you strive to be continuously the very best version of yourself, then I think by extension you also do all kinds of things that are good for you and hopefully also for others. And as a result, you will lead a fulfilling and nice life.
Most excellent, Dr. Brown, and I thank you very kindly for your thoughts.
Less than a minute, isn't it?
Very much less than a minute, and succinct. Succinct. This is the, yes, of course. Penultimate question. Number 9 of 10.
I'm ready. Hit me.
If you could use only one ink for the rest of your life, how old is Aziza?
I think she would remain the same age.
Oh, darn.
But I like your thinking.
So she's going to remain your wife too. Okay.
I fear so.
And if you had to use an ink, what ink would it be?
Well,
let me guess. A Waterman something.
No. It
No,
would be
SBRE Brown.
Why use a Waterman when you can use SBRE Brown? Blood, you know.
SBRE Brown.
It's how we roll, right?
For the rest of your life?
I am. This is probably an interesting example of cognitive dissonance reduction. I've invested a lot in this ink, so I must really like it. Let's use it again.
You must really like it.
All right. To be fair, I do actually, honestly, I really like it. I think it's a really nice shade of brown.
Not to mention the fact that you're mildly egotistical. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Exactly. It's sort of a matter of self-glorification, right? Like I put myself in my pen. That sounds wrong, but, you know, anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
SBRE Brown is the ink. And final question.
The ultimate
question. If you could use only one pen for the next 10 years, what pen would it be?
I would go for probably the Opera Master in tobacco, because I really like that pen. And the reason I do not pick something else, the Namiki Emperor is fantastic, but it is huge, although you could probably write with that for 10 years without running out of ink, to be fair. I also really like the classic pens LB5, but mine has a cross point which writes incredibly broadly. So for a normal everyday writing pen, I think the tobacco or the Master, the Opera Master is a very suitable model.
The Opera Master, and that's, of course, made by St. Dupont.
Yeah, the St. Dupont Opera Master Emperor by Namiki Dupont.
Namiki Dupont. We better clean that up, or someone's going to get confused and be mad at us. Dunhill, you said?
Indeed. Dunhill.
Dunhill. All right.
It's all going downhill.
But speaking of pens, what's your next pen show? And I only asked you that so that you would ask me back. So what's your next pen show?
Undecided. Who knows?
Oh.
I really have no idea. If only there would be something in February.
February is Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Los Angeles, the city of angels.
City of Angels. You might go to the Los Angeles pen show?
I don't know. I have to check. I do have a reading week. So you would call that spring break in February.
We're perfectly happy calling it a reading week.
Yeah, reading
week.
Especially
since I chose reading over music. So it's a good thing you don't have a music listening week.
Magnificent.
Yes,
so I think that
we've come full circle here, Dr.
Full circle. When I left you, I was but the learner, but now I am the master. Anyway, I think it's I have to check when that is. So that's around Valentine's Day, isn't it?
Yes, it's usually around Valentine's Day.
I have no idea.
They do it on the weekend of. Is it President's Day? You wouldn't know that. It's around Valentine's Day. And their website will tell you exactly when it is.
The Webby.
I do not.
I have to look at the Webby. Now, speaking of that, what's your next pen show?
I don't even. Well, I know my next absolute for sure pen show is the Philadelphia Pen Show in January.
Neil Young.
Oh, okay. Neil Young, Stand Old. something. I never mind.
Yes, yes.
But prior to January and the Philadelphia Pen Show, I'm going to something that may or may not be a pen show. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think pens are involved. I'm going to something called Scriptus.
Oh!
Oh, and I think that takes place in your neck of the woods, only far away.
Yes, our neck of the woods. Yeah. yes.
Something in the Great White North. And by the way, I haven't told Aziza, so, and I know she's going to watch. I know she's going to watch because she watched the last one every day. I kid you not, Dr. Brown. Every day since our last soiree, she would text me 3 to 4 times a day, just with giggling and laughing because she somehow watches the first 20 or 30 seconds. And I haven't watched the video because I was there. I haven't watched it. She says something about the way I start to chuckle and then laugh gets her every time. So eventually, I'm gonna have to watch that just to see what's getting her. So I know for a fact she's going to watch this, and this is where she's going to find out that I'll be going to Scriptus. I'm not going alone. Eleanor is going with me. We decided not to go to Paris. We said, well, we'll go to Toronto and we'll go to Scriptus.
I think it's a great idea. Scriptus is actually a fun show. It is. I was surprised by the size. It's not DC. It's not a DC size show, but it is a very reasonably sized show, I would say. I mean that in a positive sense. Very nice, and has some interesting people. Nice venue. It's the Toronto Reference Library, which is actually a very nice building. I think it's very much. It will be worth your while.
Plus Toronto.
Plus Toronto.
Yorkdale. That'll keep me.
Yorkdale, Lay Wines, Square
Lay
One.
Wines.
Wonder Pens.
I didn't much care for Square One.
Never speak to me again. No, that's okay. That's
Yorkdale. We preferred Yorkdale.
I prefer Yorkdale too. Yeah.
I think we were at Square One and we said, let's go to Yorkdale. Not the Square One is horrible, but
no, it was Square Two.
How many huge malls do you need? Just pick one and go to it. In my preference,
pick one. I've told you, you should come here. We should go to West Edmonton Mall.
Hey, that's on my list.
And that is special.
Yeah.
It has, but I should probably only the people who are listening or watching and don't know. West Edmonton Mall is one of the largest malls in North America, but it has inside the mall a swimming pool, a theme park, a giant pirate ship. You have no idea. A seal show. It is, and I mean like not like Navy SEAL Team 6 coming like in and killing, not like that, but very, very interesting. I've only been there once. I never want to see it again. But if you were here, I would go again. I
would force you to. Yes.
You would know. We should.
And it would be an entirely different experience.
And we shall announce it, and then thousands of pen people from all over the world, a flash mob. Hey there, everyone at the same time. It would be magnificent.
Flash mob. Yeah, so Scriptus.
How lovely. You're going to Scriptus. Scrippy,
as we say. Those of us in the know, we call it. Actually, I will say this out loud. Eleanor and I were talking about Scriptus via text on our phones, and sometimes the phone tries to correct your spelling. It doesn't like the word Scriptus, so at one point it wanted to write Scrotus. And so now Eleanor and I are just referring to it as
Scrotus. Yes, as you would.
And now, of course, the entire world will be, because we've said that. I have on your soiree.
What can one do?
I'm going to have to apologize to Philip for that, who obviously is the organizer of Scrotus.
To be honest, Eric, I don't even bother uploading these videos. I just throw them out. So it doesn't really matter what you're saying.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. Well, I would say thank you so much for being here again, for amusing me, for amusing the world. Thank you for the extra effort you went through creating all these tiny cards with fantastic things on it. We should do this again. And
you're going to do a soiree with other people, are you not?
I may occasionally do that, but how could anyone?
Well, I've set the bar.
Eric Ørøzcø from Sweden.
They're going to be the same or better.
The bar is set in such a way that people can only walk into it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But
it's about eye height, is what you're saying. It's not too high.
Yes.
I'm going to let you continue with saying goodbye.
Yes. Two people walk into a bar. you would expect at least one of them would have seen it. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. We kindly appreciate it. We hope that your cultural levels have been raised to inimitable heights, and we shall gladly see you again. Also, for the record, right when this is done, I have another anecdote which I will share with Eric and which shall also unfortunately end up on YouTube. Now, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful evening. Bye.
Bye.